There is an account saying, Minya Kenny, but Mankani Yamu Fanchame. There is an account saying, or say, is it a potro, and now Omokana potro, and now Omokana pontreni, a potro, and now pontreni wa, and na yehune tinting. I'm say, what's it, Dameboa? Now, you know, some people don't know the deep meaning or the deeper meaning of that. Now, what it simply means, and they say, "Inyama bi wo hɔ a oh yeah, agro bi wo hɔ a wodi. Agro ne pon we a, ɛna yebe hu no kware a wa asɛm ne mu. Ati ase, enti ampontreni ana apotro no. Maybe a obehu no na ne nan no, or ya kro, enti owu wie na afe ne nan no, etwe eba na eba be yet tinti na ehunu se se aboye a wona wo ana de bia ogina ne nan su ya ase de bia watena ne nan su se aboye we no wa pan nti owu ye ne ehunu ne tintin owu ye ne ehunu asem ne mu no kware na in that context and the Godfred Dame we free office as Attorney General no afei na Godfred Dame ye hu ne tintin afei enkrofo ka se National Cathedral report ya ebaye. Say Godfred Dame etwa it was Supreme Court. Yebe konsem ni mu. Yebe hwe say later ye hu ne say a government official etwa etre court. And then there was any background ye de no. We will go into the laws of this country and then we will see. Where Samuni amobe kaya. Godfred Dame yese wode ne nsem eko Okujato ablakwa so. Okujato ablakwa man warning. Se wo se wo ye bema fabra me so. Obetin hia wo krom ha. From that time Godfred Dame wan fa na asem anko Okujato ablakwa so biom. Sa time no Okujato ablakwa National Cathedral expose no. Godfred Dame initially, na National Cathedral board no ka ho, but he resigned. And that's no kra no na nke wo se magana fo hu ni se dabi. We hu ni se bibi koso ye bibi bone na one day bi e betumi asite no for sa nyama bone no. Intia na e bi allegedly or resign here. But then they see here during National Cathedral time, ende audit report na ba abonten no. E man krofo Godfred Dame say we try Supreme Court intro. Me say we will go into the law and we will see say if we find out say ye twa intro it was Supreme Court. A lot of people don't know but okojina court ni na swear oath na we twa intro. Ni time hu say we twa intro it to meet you tum. But ye be any as a National Cathedral, Godfred Dame lied to Supreme Court on usage of state funds. Kofi Bentel. I say, Vice President Imani Africa, Kofi Bentel, has accused former Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfred Dame, of misleading the Supreme Court of Ghana on the use of state funds for the national, state funds, for the use of state funds for the National Cathedral project. According to Kofi Bentel, Mr. Dame peddled falsehood. Kofi Bentel in someone walking was say, according to Kofi Bentel, Mr. Dame peddled falsehoods when he told the Apex Court that state funds would not be used for the cathedral project, except for what he termed as seed money, despite knowing that more public funds were being spent. Now, for people who don't understand the air course, no, Emrana National Cathedral in Sensem AC, no, Abrante bi a efene Kabila. Edeko Supreme Court. Edeko to Supreme Court in him say President Akufo-Addo National Cathedral na wose wo ye no ye de boni nim. Ba pa say papa ne be yusu Ghana fo sika no e yade bi etia Ghana mra. Eni kwan si ye ma papa ne ye. But the Supreme Court that time na asemi kokopio Supreme Court no. Godfred Dame in his defense e ka say oh President Akufo-Addo ade a wo ye no yusu Ghana fo sika. Enti no die ntiana ne bakra wode asem Kabila ya wode asem aba Supreme Court opese ye jai National Cathedral no on yusu Ghana fo sika enti no and a Supreme Court eka so okay. Na nse me hunu se Kabila na ba bonti aba be ka se sa case ne kra no. Na evidence wo a etre se President Akufo-Addo use Ghana sika. Emma omo the trace Supreme Court for. Now so the Supreme Court didn't want to act against the president. Yes, Kabila, he said it on Joy News. Said there were evidence to show that indeed Asemwa Godfred Dame and Kranenye Nokware, they were using state funds. But it was like the Supreme Court did not want to take an action against the cathedral until the Supreme Court allowed it to happen. And then this same Kabila ya can answer me. Yes, a Supreme Court ne Chief Justice if you are Kabila no akwa kujina Chief Justice na echi. And you see sometimes the question is that in the MPP for no, and I say MP Kabila de meaning so MPP ni there, but mostly yana wakasa in favor of MPP. But sometimes question yana maybe say, so what do these people want? They know the truth. Yesterday I was listening to Guy B. He was talking about the metrics. Some people believe we are saying a metrics, and our workers say some people know the truth, but they decide to be on the wrong side of the truth. And then they are saying by and Kabila name someone walk no. But Seni American, he is one of the people that Omod Echo Supreme Court Nancy Awomoka say Chief Justice na ye ni free hono. Any can say President ni yino a free ho. He's one of the people Amoya Sadian. But he's complaining. But now no complaining. So all of them they knew say Supreme Court no. Na nyama bia womoya na nenye. Ose Bentil further criticized both Dame and the Supreme Court. Where Kofi Bentilo I was supporting Baumia supporting MPP. And then, or criticizing the Supreme Court. Bentil further criticized both Dame and the Supreme Court, which dismissed a case brought by James Kwabena Bonfe, former youth organizer of the Convention People's Party, challenging the use of public funds for the cathedral. Into James Kwabena Bonfe, no, on the Kabila. In my view, the Attorney General lied. I don't know how to put this, but in short, this is one of the reasons why the present Chief Justice is facing what she's facing. Some of us were disappointed that in the face of things, it seemed they were preconceived decisions, he said. And then, omuni na beka no kware. Oso wano de Godfred Dame can draw. Na no kware ni eka enyama ni ho a ende Chief Justice no the air to no because omuni na tena case bi so say no omunim say ye ntro na so omo pene so e man ntro ne course e wo Supreme Court. He continued, my own brother the Attorney General lied because he had those facts and went and controverted what Bonfe said, and the judges, instead of taking judicial notice, looking at the fact in front of them, lined up behind the government in the face of things that we could all see. Nyankopon kwa ene no kwarefo. Misi obi biara wo kasetia ade a eto the current Chief Justice ne, the suspended Chief Justice say nipa kro no onpe Ghana yie. And see when National Cathedral and same way eba ni no. You see the role the Supreme Court played in. Role na Supreme Court ni play no. See when and see when say nini na dedi, nini na pie. Or see fact I de ko two judges ni no bibia show ye yusu Ghana sika. Any kwan say mu yusu Ghana sika but say the judges ni na koko di aban echi. And they all saw that the judges were lying. They also say Godfred Dame is my brother, but he lied in the court, in the Supreme Court, and we all saw that it was a lie. But the judges followed Godfred Dame. Here we will look at the judges on Motinas our case. Bentil added, the belief in the government was not founded. There was evidence in front of them, and it could be checked. His remarks follow revelations from an audit report by Deloitte, which confirmed that state funds were indeed used for the cathedral project, contrary to assurances previously given by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo-led government. Me say, Supreme Court no, under President Akufo-Addo, one day yebebo omudin, say, yeka, omo President Akufo-Addo, amemo no, ni failure no, esi ya, Supreme Court no, omo boa President Akufo-Addo. The Supreme Court and President Akufo-Addo, they helped him to sink Ghana. They helped him to sink Ghana. Supreme Court judges na no more under President Akufo-Addo no. Afianza cases ni PPO. As a Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye disclosed details of the reports during a press briefing. Now, that's that. Now, let's do some checks, right, into the Supreme Court and see the judges setting a case. Now, here judges are now setting a case. The case was thrown out unanimously 2019. And a case no James Kwabena Bonfe or the case ne koye. And the case was thrown out unanimously. 7 judges in a case. So. Now, you say 7 judges ni na no. Omu ni na ebo assembly guye. Unanimous FC. Now, the judges who sat on the case, omudini. Presiding justice, Justice Sophia Edinyira. Jones Doche. Now, for people who know Jones Doche, no, or no, they be refer to Manasseh Azori Buka, President Akufo-Addo promising to say, Obemana Babedane, Speaker of Parliament. Later, de koma Professor Michael Kwe. And President Akufo-Addo Beka so say, Mama Wanda Speaker of Parliament, afa Obabra, na me appointing to the Supreme Court. Yede NS Gayewu. Yede NS Gayewu ko ya yede ne ba Supreme Court no inti Jones Doche no ne ba ene NS Gayewu, not biological but what you say ni broni be say protege. What you say ne ba ene NS Gayewu na ode ne ba inti Justice Jones Doche no inti clearly no as to whether or no are aligned to NPP or not, we all know. Justice Enini boa. I mean, Musumu ni menini. When him Justice Enini boa. Justice Sule Gbadegbe, I don't know, but he didn't know what he has here. Justice Vida Akotobanfo, Justice A.A. Benin, Justice Samuel Mafosao. Now, Samuel Mafosao no na. Or no any book I will try and send me our kind of book. I stand to be quoted, but I think it was him. I will no any book I will try and someone or try or no any book ni mono. You used to yet say, now would you what say it was the 2020 election petition. You say, but would you what throw book ni money? Unsoon someone walk any, but book no in the case I buy the what throw book more no. As if upon the bony book ni I stand to be quoted. Allegedly, you see, no, they are not throw the book, Nimka, Boguye, Emudi, Assembly MPP. So these were the judges who sat on the case in 2019, right? And they say, you see, judges, no, Ebwa, Attorney General Godfred Dame to lie to Ghanaians. Well, allegedly, if they help to lie to Ghanaians, well, then these are the name of the judges. Now, let's look at Godfred Dame. Yankase Ghana mremu no. Eden ni to media no. If indeed, and then you see we control there. Eden ni to media Godfred. Inti maybe sir, a simple question. Say, if after several years, it is revealed that the Attorney General lied in this case, can he be charged? Now this is what AI is saying. I say yes. If it is proven that Attorney General knowingly lied to the Supreme Court, there would be serious legal consequences. But it depends heavily on the nature of the lie, the intent, and the effect it had on the case. Here is how the situation would be treated under Ghanaian law. Or say perjury or false statements under oath. If the Attorney General gave false evidence under oath, it could amount to perjury, which is a criminal offense under Ghana's Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960. Or say Section 213-221 deal with perjury defined as a person commits perjury if in any judicial proceeding they knowingly make a false statement under oath on a matter material to the proceeding. Punishment can be up to 10 years imprisonment. You know, you say Godfred Dame, and that year say Godfred Dame knowingly lied. No, you say evidence stress say Godfred Dame so we can throw and you who say you throw no try here there. You bet to me are charging for perjury. You chin say indeed perjury no, or you're guilty there. Godfred Dame bet to me are demo for 10 years. or say abuse of office stroke misconduct in public office. Even if not under oath, if the Attorney General intentionally misled the court as a public officer, it may constitute abuse of office. Willful, which is section 179A of Act 29. Willful neglect of duty, especially under civil service or legal profession regulations. These can attract administrative sanctions, disbandment, or criminal prosecution. Contempt of court. If the falsehood interfered with the administration of justice or misled the court, it may be punishable as contempt of court, especially if done to manipulate or obstruct justice. You know, Godfred Dame, enyama miensa say ndey yesi we twan tro de enyama miensa ebetumi ato nini. But yenhwe or say there is a catch. Immunity. The Attorney General may have functional immunity, Article 88 of 1992 Constitution, meaning they can't be sued or prosecuted for acts done in official capacity unless it is proven they acted outside the scope of their powers or with criminal intent. Immunity is not absolute if criminality like perjury or fraud is involved. Inti no Godfred Dame adwuma wo ye as Attorney General no owo immunity bi enyama bi wo ho a yentumi nchi no na so ade no ye ba be hu ne se perjury fraud dia and then the immunity no and protect no. And so basically, I say if years later it is conclusively proven that the Attorney General lied deliberately in the National Cathedral case, they could be charged with perjury, prosecuted for abuse, sanctioned professionally, or cited for contempt. No. Basically, the able to me to Godfred Dame ewo case we no. That is what AI checking through Ghana's constitution no. Waka atre yen. Mo try mo your comment box ni mo me da say.